Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh, fan of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com, and I'm back today to talk Chiefs offseason, what their needs are, and how to attack them. And I'm going to be sticking with wide receiver today. I just made a video not too long ago about 4 impending free agent wide receivers that I think would be really good fits for the Chiefs that I think are likely to happen. I'm going to be sticking with receiver today because there's someone out there that won't be a free agent but is likely going to be available that I've actually gotten a lot of comments about in that video. I keep getting, Josh, what do you think of Calvin Ridley? What do you think of the Chiefs trading for Calvin Ridley? And I never really factored Calvin Ridley very much into my offseason plans or my wish list for the Chiefs. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about him today and the likelihood of the Chiefs trading for him and what he would bring to the table, all that stuff. But before that, I would like to reestablish once again the importance of the Chiefs addressing wide receiver 2 this offseason. I know a lot of people are going to say, go get defense. This Chiefs team needs defense. You can still get wide receiver 2 and defense in the same offseason. I promise it's possible. The Chiefs have a boatload of draft picks, including the compensatory picks they have coming in from Ryan Poles getting hired, and they also will have a ton of money to spend in free agency. They have assets. They have resources. Wide receiver 2 is a need. Defense is a need. They're going to be able to address both, and I think they're going to address both. You know, I look at the 2 teams that made the Super Bowl. They were both loaded at the skill positions. The Rams had Cooper Kupp, OBJ, Van Jefferson. They got Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson. And then you look on the other side with the Bengals, they've got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. And, you know, I think Odell Beckham Jr., for example, was the difference between the Chiefs making the Super Bowl and not making the Super Bowl. I also think it is the same thing for the Rams. If they don't pick up OBJ, I don't think the Rams make it to the Super Bowl. But if the Chiefs had signed OBJ because they were in the running for him, I think OBJ is a 3-point difference in that AFC Championship game. The Chiefs desperately need a third option, someone Mahomes is comfortable throwing to, someone that can establish that connection, be consistent. The Chiefs had guys like McCole Hardman and Byron Pringle that, you know, were good at times, but they aren't consistent, and they're not number 2 options. You need a third option outside of Kelsey and Hill, a number 2 receiver, and the Chiefs lacked that all year long. And that's why they signed Josh Gordon. That's why they tried to make it work with him. They need a wide receiver too to take this offense to the top, to the next level, because there were a lot of times this year where they just sorely lacked someone else that they could go to. And there's already been some stories out about Odell Beckham Jr. He's been linked to the Chiefs a lot. Juju Smith-Schuster as well. I think he wants to be in Kansas City, and the Chiefs have mutual interests. So I think they are going to get a wide receiver too. But obviously, the point of this video is Calvin Ridley. You know, what are the odds that they could go after him? Because he'd actually be a very intriguing option, because reports are he's not happy in Atlanta. He wants a fresh start. And I'm not downplaying his mental health or anything, because that was his reason that he came out with saying why he wasn't playing. But I always thought it was kind of fishy that he just sat out almost the entire year due to mental health and just stopped playing football for the Falcons. And now you're hearing rumblings that he wants out. It seems to me, I'm not saying he doesn't have mental health issues, but I think also him just not wanting to be in Atlanta had something to do with him not playing. I honestly don't know what his price would be. I've heard, you know, something kind of like the Chiefs did with Orlando Brown last year, where they trade their first round pick, but they get like a second round pick in return. So they would be sending a first round pick for Calvin Ridley and a second rounder, and then also maybe throw in a third rounder too. Kind of, you know, downgrading one of their picks and upgrading the receiving team's picks in order to acquire a player. I've also seen that, you know, he could maybe go for a second rounder. If second rounder is the price, I think that you might have to consider that. You'll really have to consider that, because Calvin Ridley is a really good receiver. He's improved just about each year in the league. Obviously, 2021 didn't play all that much, but he increased his yards every single year, and he absolutely went off in 2020 for 1,300 receiving yards. And I think Calvin Ridley is, the kind of guy that the Chiefs really wanted Mecole Hardman to be. Calvin Ridley is a little bit taller, but they have similar statures and play styles. But Ridley is a guy that when I watch him play, he makes a ton of catches by the sidelines. He is always getting open. He has better hands than Mecole Hardman as well. And he's also a big touchdown guy. I mean, look at his touchdown totals. He already has 28 touchdowns in 4 seasons. He is always getting open in the red zone. And could you imagine someone that always gets open in the red zone also playing next to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce? I think my point is clear. Calvin Ridley is a very good receiver. If you don't believe me, just go watch some of his games. He's also still got a lot of upside. He's a young player in this league. He was only drafted a few years ago. He's 27 years old, which isn't super young, but if you're willing to sign a veteran free agent wide receiver, I don't think 27 years old is old enough to scare the Chiefs away from acquiring Ridley if they really want to, especially if they're still considering guys like Odell Beckham Jr., who's now going to be coming off his second ACL tear in 16 months. I just have a couple concerns when it comes to potentially acquiring Calvin Ridley. One, what's the haul going to be? If it's something like I mentioned a minute ago when the Chiefs acquired Orlando Brown and you give up, a first-round pick, but get a second back and then do like a third-round pick swap, I think that would be pretty fair. You'd essentially be getting Calvin Ridley with your first-round pick, which is better than any receiver you probably could get with that pick number 30. And Calvin Ridley is cost controlled for right now, so you'd still have money to spend in free agency. But that kind of brings me to my second concern. Calvin Ridley's probably going to be wanting an extension very, very soon, and that's another player that you would then have to pay. And even though the Chiefs are great at cap gymnastics, at some point you can't just hand every player that you want a huge contract. Like, eventually you have to let go of somebody that you like, and that's a lot of money, especially a lot of money in the receiver position, because Tyreek Hill's probably going to want an extension too, and he's not going to be cheap. And then you got to extend Calvin Ridley on top of that. That's a lot that the Chiefs would have to think about before acquiring Ridley. The question is not if Ridley is a good player or if the Chiefs can even acquire him. They can acquire him, and it's possible, and he'd be a great fit here in Kansas City. But at what cost? That's the question. At what cost? So those are my thoughts on Calvin Ridley. I know you guys have been asking for it. I know a lot of you would like to see the Chiefs go after Calvin Ridley. I just think it's a big risk, and I don't know. We'll just have to see. I kind of would rather the Chiefs sign someone at a fair price in free agency. That's why I keep pointing to Juju Smith-Schuster, and I think his fit in the offense is the best, and it's what the Chiefs are looking for right now. That said, though, Calvin Ridley, he's a big splash. He's better than Juju Smith-Schuster, and it would be quite the explosive addition. So I want to hear from you guys, though. What do you think of the Chiefs acquiring Calvin Ridley? Do you agree, disagree with anything I said? Let me know. But all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on arrowheadedict.com and showmefootball.com. I'll see you all in the next one.